what is happening in the Republican Party at the moment? So, on the 6th of January, Jan 6th, Trump was inaugurated into office, and straight out the gate, he's talking about renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. He's talking about taking over Greenland, and he's talking about retaking the Panama Canal. I just want to go over those points sort of one by one and just give my thoughts on that. But firstly, what this avenue that Trump is taking right now, we all knew that he was America first, and that is something I find admirable. But it seems to be America first, everyone else be damned. We saw this with the tariffs, and I wasn't completely against the idea because it is a good way of bringing money into the country whilst being prosperous for the people. Less taxes for them, more taxes on imports and exports. But this is trying to take claims of other lands that isn't necessarily theirs. They're trying to ensure that America is the complete and absolute centre of the world. So first off, we've got Greenland. Now, the reason that his claims for Greenland are is one, the illegitimacy of Denmark's claim to it, which historically just doesn't hold ground. Like, I can't speak in completely in depth as to what the political relationship between Denmark and Greenland are. All I know is they have been a dominion would probably be the right word. Might not, but it might be. But they've been closely tied to Denmark for a very, very long time. But their America's claims to it is the one they're arguing is claim over the seas. There's Russian ships going to and forth in the Atlantic, yada yada yada. But there's also claims of resources, and we all know that Trump is the oil man. Trump is the one that he wants control of oil. He wants to make sure that America is the lead exporter, hopefully to outweigh the Middle East, which, not gonna lie, is a good claim. But to take over Greenland, now there's been rumours that he said militaristically. I've seen interviews where he said he wants to do it economically. Now I don't know if that refers to both Panama and Greenland, but he says he's not planning military. He sent over his son recently to visit Greenland, but I think the claims of America taking over Greenland is shaky at best. Maybe they could do it, but I don't think they should. They're already in a bad position just by suggesting this. And then the next one is the Panama Canal. Now this one has where is it? There it is. This one has a little bit more claim to it. So historically, the canal was started by the French. America took over, paid to take it over, paid to construct it, and as a result, they've had claim over it all the way up until 1999, to which it was passed over to the Panama government, meaning that they have control over it. I believe in the agreement they would give them that as long as they had favourable terms towards America. Now, one of the claims is it's being held by the Chinese. Now, I can't speak of that one, but I know Trump's game to basically sucker punch China any way they can. Now, no doubt they are using it, but I don't think they've got as much of a claim over it as America is insinuating. But they have more of a claim over that, and I think that could be one that they could get back. They could definitely strong arm the Panama government into giving that back, and I wouldn't feel as bad about that one because at the end of the day, it was American money that made the Panama Canal exist. Even if it was started by the French, it was ultimately bought and finished by the American taxpayers. And the last ludicrous claim was the Gulf of Mexico. Now, this one, I don't know why. I don't know why, to be completely honest with you. Just looking at this, I don't see much of a reason as to why. If you look at which country has more area within the Gulf, it would be Mexico. It would be Mexico. They have all this area that is basically entering this Gulf. Now they've got what? This bit of Texas and this bit of Florida. Now, you could argue even further back that Mexico has even more claims to that land because historically, Mexico had all of that area, I believe. That was all held by Mexico. It was later claimed by the Americas, so even historically, Mexico has a stronger claim to the name of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, if you were going to rename, I won't rename it to the Gulf of America, probably the Gulf of Florida. That makes sense to me, personally, but again, don't know what this is. He was sat there saying that, you know, they've sent a lot of money to Mexico, they've given a lot of aid, they've given this, that, and the other, but all of those don't seem to answer as to why he wants to rename it to the Gulf of America. I don't see a reason, personally. It's just one of those things that's just making him look bad right now. Again, a lot of people are saying that he's saying radical things just to basically keep the opposition second guessing, but ultimately, I don't know what it is, and I don't know why he wants to do this, and I think it's a bad look for him. Again, it's this idea of not America first, America at the centre of the world, and that's going to make them look very, very bad, and I'm very concerned as to the direction of the current Republican Party. We've already seen claims that he wants to turn Canada into the 51st state. Now, as someone that likes Hearts of Iron and loves the old history, I kind of want to see that happen just because it'll be funny. But ultimately, no. There was a time in which Canada could have been a part of the Americas. It never went through. It's instead held on to being a dominion of the British Empire, and then later became its own sovereign nation of its own accord. And in all honesty, do you really want to deal with Quebec? Wait, you can't see that. Do you really want to deal with Quebec? French Canada? You've already got Louisiana. I wouldn't want more French in your country, if I'm honest. But jokes aside, again, it's not making America look good. Now, a lot of that is claims to the land, claims to the resources, but also trade. Trump is very critical of the trade deals that they have with Canada, especially since, unless they're willing to go by sea from here to there, they would have to go through here. I think it's called the Canadian Corridor or something to that effect, or the American Corridor, but they have to go through that effectively to get to Alaska. Now, if they want to do that, I recommend that they do something that Europe has done decades ago, and that Africa is currently in the process of refining, and that will be making a continental union. So, United States is at the helm. You got Canada, Mexico, all the way down there. That would be brilliant for trade, and with the America basically helming this agreement, it could also possibly put an end to cartel action, and that would be something that would benefit everyone without taking sovereignties. I think America may have to dish out more. They'll probably be giving out more than they receive in returns, but that is something that would allow the entire continent to grow and to extend its reaches, its resources, its power, because ultimately any union with America is going to make the union incredibly strong, far greater than that of the European Union. So that's something I would personally like to see, a union between Canada, Mexico, and America, or the CUM Alliance, as I like to call it, and possibly even extend further down into Central and South America. That would possibly put an end to the cartel actions. That's my thoughts on that anyway. Annexing Canada and even possibly annexing Mexico, you know he's thinking about it. If they're going to go for Canada, they're going to go for Mexico. That's not a good look for America. Lastly, we all know that Musk is now taking over this Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, because of course it's Musk. But recently there's been a bit of tension between Nigel and Elon, and I believe it was over Tommy Robinson, who is... He's in prison for, I believe the charge was interfering with the course of justice of something to that variety. He's a journalist, and he was seen recording outside a court, which interfered on a case that was not yet public, and he was reporting on this, which was affecting the jury's decision to be impartial, and he got arrested for this. Now, Farage has been trying to distance himself from Tommy Robinson with his history in the BNP, British Nationalist Party, and he wants to refine his image to be that of a new right rather than a racist party, which UKIP was having a hard time of shaking. And any right-wing party is going to have a hard time believing that, especially one with Farage, because he's so disliked. Well, he's like Marmite. He's either hated or is loved. And no one has an indifferent opinion of Farage. They either know about him and love him or hate him, or they just don't know about him. Musk, on the other hand, he's obviously the free speech guy, and we can all talk about his hypocrisies with X, but I think ultimately he's doing a decent job. There is limits and there's extents in which he has to go into this, but he has recently pulled out $1 million, $10 million, I don't know how much. It was a lot of money, donation towards the Reform Party, saying that Farage needs to step down, blah, blah, blah. And he's gone on a complete attack, and Farage is just there dumbfounded, but he doesn't seem affected by it. Like, I think this is business as usual for Farage. And ultimately, I have to side with Farage on this one. What Musk is doing is alienating and damning a right-wing party that is making great gains in the UK. Especially with the dog mess that is the Conservatives. Now, yes, they have Kemi Badenoch. Is it Kemi Badenoch? They've got Badenoch anyway. And she's doing wonders to the party, but ultimately I think Kemi should have fucking left and joined the Reform Party. Same with Suella Braverman. And yeah, I believe it's them two. Suella Braverman and Kemi Badenoch. I believe them ones. Priti Patel as well. She should have also jumped ship and just joined the Reform, because these are big names going to a small party that is making great gains. And I would like to see this. The issue I have with this is we have two prominent right-wing members, and they're now fractionally infighting, and this is the problem that the Tories had during the last two elections. Now they managed to get the one before that is beyond me, but this fractionalism that they're bringing forward is going to destroy this new modern right wing that is appearing. They've also got Musk is also causing tensions within Europe, the European Council, because of some other things. I don't know if it's because of reform or if it's because he's cozying up to the likes of the AfD and the Brothers of Italy, Giorgia Meloni's party. But ultimately, I think I'm going to, as an open message to Musk, you are liked, you are loved. I know you've had a lot of shit over this Indian immigrants thing. That I don't care about. But you are a prominent member of this new contemporary right, and damning Farage's party is not going to help. It's only going to separate you from the UK. And we've had this current new special relationship forming between the new Republican Party, the Trump Republican Party, and this new wave of right that is appearing all across Europe. And I would like to see a reform in this relationship, pardon the pun, in which they don't have to donate, but they need to be unified under this current ideal of what is happening, to be against this current left wave that is appearing and is currently destroying our country. Because I would like to see things get better here. I don't want to see things get worse. I don't want to see situations in which the Republican Party is put under more stress, more scrutiny. They're already under a lot of pressure because Trump is in the seat. And as much as I like Trump, I've got to be critical of his current motifs, his current ideas going forward. This America at the centre of the world idea that he's got, because it is currently making him look bad. I know he's going in all guns blazing, because he has been damned and demonized for the last 8 years. Last 4 years out of presidency, and the 4 years prior, he had been demonized ever since he stepped foot into the political ring. And I don't think he should be. But these mentalities, these actions that he's taking, they're currently putting a target on his back. They're going to give him... They don't need to make things up at the moment, because they're looking at what he is doing to the wider world, and instead of being cooperative, they're being forceful. They're forcing their mantra, their manifesto on other people, the other countries, even if it means taking away sovereignties for the benefit of America. I like America. I'd like to see things go forward and get better, but not as the way things are currently going.